For more on this, I'm joined live by Senior Analyst at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, Malcolm Davis. Malcolm, thanks for joining us. So 12 killed in an airstrike by Israel on a school in Gaza. The bodies of 6 hostages recovered reportedly by Israel inside Gaza. Antony Blinken, as we just heard there, trying to get this over the line, but I guess optimism is starting to fade for a ceasefire.
I think that's fair. I think that what you are seeing is we're in the sort of like tough yards here in terms of ceasefire negotiations. But there's a lot hinging on this in the sense that if the ceasefire negotiations do fail, then what is likely to happen is that Iran is likely to carry through with its threat to retaliate against Israel for the hinging assassination a few weeks ago. And that could bring in Hezbollah as well as other groups. So you would then have that escalatory cycle to a much larger war. So a great deal is hinging on this particular negotiation towards some sort of even temporary ceasefire.
Yeah, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has announced Australia and Indonesia have finalised negotiations on a defence agreement during a visit by Indonesia's incoming president. How significant is this considering Australia has been trying to counter China's influence in the region?
Well, I think it's important in the sense that it strengthens the relationship between Canberra and Jakarta, and that's always a good thing. It essentially opens up reciprocal base access, so Indonesian forces can deploy down to Australia and vice versa, although with the caveat that that's not necessarily guaranteed during wartime. I think in that sense, in terms of countering China, it's not so significant in that regard, because Indonesia is making it clear that it doesn't want to shift from its non-aligned status. Indonesia comes under a great deal of pressure from Beijing. Its elements within its society, including its business community, are very friendly towards Beijing, as are ours. And so it's not necessarily guaranteed to see Indonesia join some sort of bloc against China. But it is a positive step forward in the relationship between Australia and Indonesia.
Would things change if Australia did start participating more in the Indonesian economy, like what they are asking for?
Oh, look, I think that, as we grow our links with Indonesia's economy and business community, that will just strengthen the relationship between Australia and Indonesia. But I don't necessarily see that leading to Indonesia firmly allying with us in a wartime scenario. I think that Indonesia will come under immense coercive pressure from China to remain non-aligned, and Indonesia's instinct is to remain non-aligned. So we shouldn't count on Indonesia assisting us if we end up in a war with China.
Just quickly, we've got 30 seconds, but the coalition has been hammering Labor on visas issued to Palestinians all week in Parliament. In your view, is this political point scoring, or are there genuine concerns here in terms of a security setting?
I think the coalition is right to express concern, and they have a right to seek clarification on how the process of bringing Gazan refugees into Australia is handled. We should not be allowing anyone into this country that sympathises with Hamas in any way or shape or form. So I think that there needs to be pretty stringent security checks and clearances before we allow people into this country, because we do not want people coming in that support international terrorism. Having said that, I don't think that necessarily a blanket prohibition on all Palestinians coming from Gaza is the right move. So it's a nuance, it's a gentle balance, I think, that we need to get right.
Okay, Malcolm Davis, appreciate your time. Thank you.